Guys, it's Al. Wanted to do one of my other frames that I recommend when you're still getting into Warframe. This one is a lot further into the mission maps, so in all probability you're gonna have to find somebody to get you there. Not that hard to do. Most of the time you can just ping out through the help channel or the chat. So like, hey, I'm wanting to go farm this frame, and somebody will take you along. Also means you don't have to do all the work. Problem is you may or may not have the resources, so we'll cover that on the next one. But this is Frost Prime, because I don't have the standard variant, but I just releveled it, so it's lower
Gorgeous
damage
is
than
how
normal, but
angry.
that's fine. I also have
I
my
may
mods
require
unequipped.
maintenance after
So,
all.
Frost passive, striking Frost with melee attack has a 10% chance to freeze the attacker for 20 seconds. That's just handy. Um, This just single target freezes an enemy, 350 points damage, 150 points AoE, 15-second duration. Ice Wave is a ton of fun. You get some range on that, and it's a ton of fun. So you throw a giant wave of ice out, 445 points of damage, 2 meters width, and then 12 meters long, 35-degree angle. Snow Globe is the one that everybody uses Frost for. So you throw up a giant snow globe, and for a couple seconds it absorbs damage and adds it to its health pool. Anybody inside the snow globe has got a 50% slow. It's a 5 meter radius, and it starts at 4k health. This is another one that scales kind of like Rhino's Iron Skin with ability strength and armor mods. And then Avalanche, giant AoE, 8 meter radius, 800 points of damage, 5-second duration because it freezes everybody, 60% armor reduction, 3 meter explosion radius, 100 points of explosion damage. For tips, you can cast freeze on the ground to create an icy path, slowing enemies that pass over it. Honestly, I can't ever say I've done that. Cast freeze on the outside of a snow globe to shatter it. This is useful if you happen to have put your snow globe in the wrong place. The snow globes you can shoot out of, but enemy fire can't shoot into, so people actually have to get in there and deal with you face to face. That has to do with augment mods. We're not going to touch that. Cast snow globe on top of enemies to freeze and launch them out of the area. That's amusing for getting them off of things. Increase the max health of the snow globe with ability strength and armor mods. Frost can cast up to 4 snow globes to cover more ground. This is true, but you can also infinitely stack them within themselves, continually adding health to the snow globes. We already covered that. Covered that. Covered that. Yeah. So, I'm going to throw my mod set back on here
Well put together,
because
operator.
no, I'm
Now
not
get
running
out
my full
there
mod
and
set because I just
collect
re-leveled
down
this. So I'm
the
only level 2
and
right
make a
now
Lotus
instead of
proud.
level 30. But with those changes alone, Freeze is now 1,000 points. Ice Wave is 1,200 points. The Snow Globe is 17,000 points. So it absorbs base 17,000 points before you break a Snow Globe. And then Avalanche is 161% damage reduction. That's pretty sizable. So the main thing you'll use a Frost for is for defense missions. You'll find one here. I will say this is an infested mission.
Our
Technically, they
position
work
has
better
been
on Vernier
compromised.
because they don't
Defend the cargo until
actually,
reinforcements arrive.
come into the snow globe. The infested will, but we'll still get the point. So, giant snow globe. So that keeps people from shooting down your pods while you're doing defense missions. So here's your single target. Let's freeze. Your ice wave is out of energy. 1 second. It's a pretty good wave of ice. And by the time you put mods and stuff on that, that works really, really well. And then we'll wait a second here. You can tell that there's definitely a speed difference between these guys and these guys in here, which is handy. And then your fourth is Avalanche, so you can AoE freeze and decimate everyone. Tons of fun. Works better on Grenier, like I said, or Corpus, since Infesteds are melee based. Frost Farm is on Sarah's, so it's a little bit trickier to get to, and it's further through. If you can get somebody to taxi you, that's great, because it's helpful. Otherwise, if you've already got a Rhino or something with high durability, you can do that. We're gonna go show you guys the bosses really quick
Excellent
here.
armaments, operator. Please return.
Covered in
This
blood.
boss fight is a 2-boss fight, so it's a little bit different.
Mine.
Where did we go?
Said there's a dump, but it's my dump.
So it's on Exton Sarah's. So you've got Electrokrill and Captain Vor. Switch this back to multiplayer here, in case anybody else is farming it. This is why I recommend it if you can get Rhino early on, because Rhino's so tanky and he's one of the easier ones to get to.
Yet. Captain Vor has teamed up with Lek Krill to take you down. Let's show true Tenno power.
You're making this too easy.
Keep moving.
Obviously, when you have higher weapons and stuff, killing bosses is simpler, but as a whole, they're not generally too bad.
Stay focused. There's a unit approaching. His mobility could make him the larger threat. Observe their patterns and look for opportunity to divide and conquer.
I gotta wait for everybody else.
For the Lotus.
So Captain Vor is pretty easy, you just have to kill him in sections. Electrokrill is a little bit trickier. He's got hoses on the back, and you basically have to break out these hoses, so you gotta kind of hit him from behind. Or you just kill him in sections, he disappears, goes and shits in a shield over here for a little while, he's immune to damage. Melee works really well on Krill. After a minute, he starts overheating because his hoses are all busted. And then he freezes like that. He's vulnerable for a couple seconds, then he disappears. And this is just a rinse and repeat. It takes a minute, he's obnoxious. He's dead. Or dead. There we go. Then he turns to a giant raging fire bomb, and then you can kill him. Obviously easier said than done when you're low levels, but if you can get Frost, Frost is a huge game changer. Between Frost and Rhino, you got enough tanky to pretty much run the entire game until way upper levels. The next one we're going to be doing here is going to be the Necro, because if you're going to build stuff, you need resources, and there's nobody better at that than the Necro. Necro is also a little bit further into the game to technically get. They tried to rebalance some of the frames by making them trickier to get to, so you don't get them as early on. For instance, Trinity, which I'll cover way later, used to be farmed on Earth until they realized she was way too strong to get her that early in the game.
Yoink! What was yours is now mine.
So then you get your neuroptics, or whatever your RNG gives you, run it down to the foundry, start assembling that. Just rerun the mission until you get all 3 of your parts, buy the blueprint in the store, and then from there you're good to go. So a 24-hour assembly time on the parts, and then a 72-hour assembly time on the actual assembly of the frame. So you can just jump into the market and search Frost. Jump under Warframes here. And then you can just buy the blueprint. So that's it for Frost. Extremely helpful because you can get that snow globe up to about 20k, and then when you're getting recasts on it, I think it caps out at 1 million or something. So that's that for Frost. Highly recommended for anybody. And then I will jump back here in a little while and knock out a Necro video. Thanks, guys.